Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to another round in the IIRL Season 9. I am back with a realistic tier round 7 this week, and we are at the Hungarian Grand Prix, known for its terrible overtaking and its not so good downforce levels. In fact, they're too high. We have 13 drivers currently for short qualifying. There'll be 2 more joining later on, so hopefully we will see them out on track before the start of um, the race. And we have dry conditions so far. We've got a number of returning faces. We got one new face in Naoka. This is his debut race, so we wish him the very best of luck. And we have returning favourites for the drivers' title. Our championship leader Cod Camper is in the Sauber this week, and we also have John in the Sauber as well. In the McLaren we have Padge and Tacit, who was in the Red Bull last week, but finished P14, so he's got upgraded. We've got Alessio in the Alpine, Max in the Mercedes, Flipperlister, who had a great showing in the Haas last week in the Williams. Ethan is back in his Aston Martin. Deflated Wee and Killian are in the Haas cars. That guy is in the Williams too. David is in the Ferrari, and Naoka in debut is in the Red Bull. So currently, championship standings is Cod Camper, who is in the lead of the standings, as Björn has been away on holiday, and Alessio in the Alpine being in P2, 4 points back. Björn is P3, and Deflated Wee is P4, who was our race winner last week. Sorry, I've got a bit of the hiccups. But first on track is John, who is about to start his first run. He has been in the Sauber for the entirety of Realistic Tier since we started it in round 3. And good evening, Nico. I hope you're very well. Good evening, Jack. I'll get you an invite as soon as you're loaded in. So while John is going round, I'll invite you now. And you are this one. There you are. Good evening, Killian. Thanks for the weatherman weather report. As we see John going through turn 4 now. Set the fastest current time is, of course, the first man on track. As we now look here at John going through the chicane. Lovely bit of exit there. And back, using a bit more of his battery, and very I don't know how he didn't invalidate there, but I think his teammate for tonight, Cod Camper, has invalidated, so we'll be looking forward to the fact that he has only got 2 runs left. As other cars come to the line, Max is on an outlap, and see what John can do. Sets the pace up with a 16.7, decent start there. Next up, I believe, is the McLaren of Tacit, so we'll see what he can produce. And Tacit goes P2 with a 17.3. Up next is going to be his Cod Camper, but he's not on a lap. We got a car letting through, that's fine. I think next up is the Ferrari of David, but he's invalidated. So is Naoka on their first outlap, and they've spun. And he's hit the wall. Unfortunately, I hope that's not caused damage for him, but that means the Mercedes, I'm very confused, of Nico. Nico is up next. Jack, I invited you. Nico goes fastest with a 16.3, 4 tenths ahead of John. Very, very good lap there. Oh, yeah, you're on an out lap, never mind. Ethan goes fastest in that with a 16.2. John's lap not being so good, but Max goes P3 with a 16.7 just ahead of John, which means up next is going to be Alessio, who's the first driver in the 16. He is fighting out for the championship as it currently stands. Killian is not in the Williams tonight, he's in the Haas, and he goes P4 with a 16.5. Which means next up is going to be Cod Camper if he doesn't come into the pit lane. He is not. So Cod Camper will be next to the line and does set a 17 flat. So the second tyre, it is not working. Wizard Mitten has invalidated. Padge is entering turn 1 now. See what Padge can do. Padge is on the pad, and Naoka is letting cars out of the way. Very, very generous. We'll stick with Padge for this lap as other drivers come to the line to start their runs. Oh, Padge has gone off track, and will he continue on? I think he will. He might just want to set a banker lap time, which probably smart, but he's backing out, I think. So Padge will not finish this lap, which means that the only driver on a run at the moment is Flipperlist, who was P6 at the end of Belgium last week in the Haas. He's gone purple of the people on track currently at the end of Sector 1. Of course, a very short lap. He's running low on battery, but of course you're not going to need lots of it. But he's in the straight line merchant of a Williams today. Now let's see what he can produce in this. As he goes purple of the people on track in Sector 2 as well. Deflated Wheat has just started a run as well. So Flipperlister will come to the line now, and he will set a P5 with a 16.5, going equal with Killian. And Deflated Wee now, and see what he can do. He is known for smashing headsets, and he's invalidated at turn 4. That's not a great start. He's got 10 minutes left in the session, so he's got at least 2 more runs if he so wishes. With Deflated Wee invalidating on his first run. In the practice lobby, Deflated Wee and Killian were complaining about the Haas car. Not as if they have any right to. We have Tacit starting a run now. Killian, congratulations on reaching a 15 stream watching streak. 15 stream streak, sure, that'll do. But Tacit now coming out of turn 3, I think. Oh, I honestly don't know. I think I might have been calling turn 5, turn 4, but doesn't matter. But we'll see what Tacit can do towards the end of this lap and see where it puts him. No, I have not been getting it wrong. He goes wide. He's not invalidated, so he can carry on if he so wishes. As he's not taking too many risks out there, but he probably just wants to get a lap done. He is in the McLaren tonight. There's loads of people are coming out to do their second runs. Very slidey there into the penultimate corner now. And Tacit will set a... He wasn't able to improve, unfortunately. If he did, we'll actually have a look at that. View lap times. He was not able to improve, unfortunately. That slide just affected him a bit much. We got John currently on a lap. He's just started one. Got a number of people on laps. I think Deflated Wee is going to be finishing a run now. We'll see if he can carry on. We got Ethan starting a lap in his Aston Martin. Deflated Wee coming to the line now. He goes P2 with a 16.1. Very nice lap there. Nico will just be finishing a lap now, along with Alessio, who will be starting a run in his Alpine. So with Nico coming to the line now, and he is going to set a very, very reasonable P3 with a 16.2. Alessio is the only one to make it into the 15s as of yet. Tacit will be coming into the pits this lap, which means Killian will be our next driver. Of course, he is leading the assist here championship race to myself, and I will not let him live that down until he misses Imola later in the season. But Killian will come to the line now, and he will go nowhere. He was not able to. He was only able to improve slightly. John. Oh, Camper was the Sauber next to the line. He goes P. Ethan has come into the pits after invalidating. John will be up next to start a run. He went for the double warm-up. Next up will be Max to start a run as well. And then we have the current pole sitter, Alessio, who improved by another 2/10. Great lap there from Alessio. Able to put himself into the driving seat for pole. That guy, the Williams of Flipperlister, has just started a run as well. We'll go on board with Nico to finish out his run. He comes into the pit lane actually, which means the next driver to the line will be the debut. Oh, he's invalidated again. Neokar, sorry, has invalidated again, so he will have to go again. Which means next driver to cross the line for a lap will be John. Of course, the current 4-time NA champion. He is also looking more and more on board to becoming a 5-time in a row NA champion. We'll see what he can do to the line. He goes ahead of his teammate by, very, very close lap there. That's very, very close between the two Saubers. I believe Max is up next now. He isn't able to improve, but it looks like he's doing a double push, in which he is the only one currently going to be on a lap. So we'll sit on board with Max. Of course, had some great showings last season in what was the F2 tier at the time. So we'll see if he can produce anything decent here. It's 2.5 tenths up currently, so it's been a good start to the lap there for Max. He's got yellow flag ahead of him but that's just a slow car, nothing too serious. See as he comes to the end of sector 2 now, he's only half a tenth up. Not what Max would want to have. At the moment it would keep him P10. And Max will come to the line now, and he doesn't improve his lap time. That is not what he would want. Got that guy in the Williams who's currently on a lap, and he's spun and he's in the wall. Luckily he hit the car with his left rear tyre, so he did not break anything, but that is not the good end to that guy's, I think, his first yeah, I've lost my words. Anyway, Deflated Wee is currently on a run as well, very slidey through turn 5. through the chicane. Now he gets very, very nicely over them. Is looking very, very nicely and stable. As I said that he has gone off wide, but that is not what deflated we would want. I think he's got enough time to come into the pit lane if he wants to change his tyres, so it should be all fine there. We've got Wizard Mitten on a lap as well. We got Tacit, I believe. Tacit is later in his lap, so we'll sit on board with him. He's 2/10 up currently from the first sector. And we'll see if he can push himself into the 16th and potentially up the leaderboard. As more and more drivers will start coming out for their outlaps in the next minute or so, we would imagine. As Tacit has gone off, he's not invalidated, so he can continue. But if he does continue on, this will be the end of his qualifying, I would think. I don't think he'll have time to go for another lap. We'll see what he decides to do, and he decides to carry on. And Tacit will set a 17-1, which keeps him P12. Unfortunately, the Wizard Mitten will be up next for his first run of qualifying. Goes ahead of Padge in P13 with a 17-2. As Padge is also on a run, he's 4/10 up currently. And then got the Aston Martin of Ethan and Flipperlista, who is just about to finish a lap as well. And Flipperlista will go P3. That's a great lap from Flipperlista. It looks like no one's catching Alessio as it currently stands. Padge is invalidated, so he has enough time to make it around the track again, but has he got the fuel for it? And Naoka is up next in his debut in the Red Bull. We'll see where he can go. And he's only P10. Only P10 for Naoka in their debut. Next up to the line will be someone. It'll be the Hasses if they weren't starting their runs. John is currently on a run, keeping track of people that are on runs, but I think it might be Ethan. I think Ethan might be the first to the line. Of course, he will make it before the checkered flag, but he will not be able to set another run. As Ethan will come to the line after let's see how his final corner is. And it's a good final corner, and Ethan will go P2 with a 15.9. He's our second driver in the 19s. That guy, we got Flipperlista has pulled into the pit lane. David is up next. Flipperlista has retired, so he will not be going again. David goes P3 just outside the 16s. We had a McLaren of Tacit, Padge going through to start his final run. Naoka has pulled into the pit lane as well. We've got John and Cod. John goes P3 and with a 15.9, and Cod does not make it into the 15s. He will be starting just behind David as the checkered flag is now out. So we got an Alpine of Alessio up next. He's invalidated, so that means our next driver will be Nico. And Nico will go P2 with a 15.8. Great lap there from Nico. We got the other Red Bull pulling into the pit lane of Wizard Mitten, which means next is Max, but he is invalidated, which means next up will be Deflated Wee, if I can find him. He's a 10th up, he goes P4, and then Killian will be up next. He's only half a 10th up as it currently stands, but it only keeps him P9. Which means up next is Ethan. Can he get on? He's not improving. Never mind, Ethan will be starting P3. Next up will be that guy. Good evening, Rids. I hope you're very well, my friend. We're just reaching the end now of qualifying, so we'll be back here with the times. That guy is up next to the line. He goes P12. And Padge pulls into the pit lane, so he will be starting last on the grid. Not what Padge would have been hoping for. One of the track on the calendar, which is the most difficult to overtake at. I mean, of course, it is known as Monaco without the walls. That is a great showing for our championship hopeful in Alessio. Alessio is on pole for the race. And his championship rival, Cod Camper, is P7. So that is the end of qualifying, where the top 7 are within 3/10 of each other, which is exactly what we love to see. Alessio fastest with a 15.7, Nico P2, Ethan P3, Deflated Wee P4, John P5, David P6, Cod P7, Flipperlister P8, Killian P9, Naoka P10 in debut, Max Legath in 11th, that guy P12, Tacit P13, Wizard Mitten P14, and Padge P15. As Ethan is in the chat saying that him and Alessio got the same sector 3 times. Congratulations. And as now we enter our 5-minute break, in which the drivers can do whatever they want. They're going to decide their strategies on fuel levels. So we'll be seeing a lot of chaos. I feel like today we're going to be seeing a lot of different strategies. The 1-stop, the 2-stop, some people might try. And we'll have to wait and see which one is better. Because honestly, we don't have a clue. But we'll go through championship standings. Of course, it has been yet to be decided what is going on with the constructors, because it is very difficult to do a constructors title while having everyone in different cars. But if you are interested, is the V car who is leading the way for some reason, but it's no worry whatsoever. So at the moment, COD is leading the way with 112 points. Alessio is 4 points behind with 108. Björn is not racing tonight, but he is on 90. Deflated Wee is P4, so if he is able to outscore, if he is able to score more than 28 points. Okay, so he won't be overtaking Björn tonight. John is P5 and Killian is P6 in the standings. David is P7, Nico is P8. And Wouter, Shermanator and Padge are all behind them. As Ethan's saying he went purple, green, green. You had a bad sector too. That's a shame. And Tacit saying that it's going to be cloudy but dry, and there is no chance of meatballs. But we will be going in about 2 minutes time, so drivers will be able to do whatever they want. Get your predictions in the chat. Who do you think is winning this race? I personally am going to go for Alessio. I think he was completely it was 2/10 clear in qualifying. I think on a track that's very difficult to overtake, he will have the pace. If he can get the strategy right, he will have no issues. As Riz saying, we like meatballs. Yes, we do. It's cloudy with a chance of. You got to get the spaghetti with it, and the right sauce. But go to IKEA. Just get the whole go to IKEA. This is not sponsored by IKEA, by the way. IKEA, if you would like to, then go ahead. I have no problem with that. But Swedish meatballs are the best, and that is a fact. I will not accept any other opinions. Because why not? Why would we? But yeah, get your predictions in the chat. I want to see who you think is winning this race. I feel like who's gonna have the best who's gonna have the strongest performance? Who's gonna be able to enlighten us with their brilliant racecraft and overtaking abilities at a track that is so difficult to overtake at? As Wizard Mitten is saying that Nico wins after getting P1 in the first corner, as Nico does not think that is going to happen. But you never know. If you get a good launch and you don't disqualify yourself from the formation lap and go back 3 meters, you'll be fine. As we get underway for the formation lap now, as Alessio will get us underway. As we will see the stroll, we got loads of tyre strategies out there tonight. We've got Alessio and Nico, David, Flipperlister, Killian, Naoka, Tacit and Padge all on the mediums, and everyone else, Ethan, Deflated Weave, John, Cod Camper, Max, that guy, and Wizmitten all on the hard tyres. So we're going to see a range of strategies here tonight, and honestly, anything can happen. I mean, on Tuesday, John did win the race with a hard medium strategy. However, the two-stop can be very, very good if you can use those fresh tyres and the pace advantage that comes with it to help you push ahead. Oh, as the drivers will make their way round, we have got a little bit of a gap. Nothing to worry about. As I always love looking at the numbers to see what driver numbers people are using. Like Ethan uses number 37, and again, the camera changed before I could see Nico's number. But as Alessio is going to be lining himself on the grid now, he does not disqualify himself. Everyone's going to be taking that very, very cautiously, I imagine. As that guy Nico is facing towards Alessio, so he is looking to get the run. As we now get underway, and it is 5 red lights, and away they fly! As Nico does not able to get a run, but David is falling down the order. He's not got a good start there. It's into 1. There's a little bit of contact there between the Sauber and the Haas there. As Nico and Alessio go side by side through turn 1, and Alessio, bit of contact there, but they are still side by side. This is lovely battling. It is only lap 1, however. Alessio stays ahead of Nico for now. As a lovely start to this race for Alessio, managing to keep the lead into 4. And as we enter towards the mid part of sector 2 now, there is a car in the gravel. That is Wizard Mitten. Wizard Mitten is in the gravel. Very unfortunate for his race as he started on the hard tyres. As now we enter towards the sector 3 of what will be lap 1 of 35. Now that DRS has been activated for the next lap, of course, the DRS zones on this track are on the run to turn 1 and 2. So, and there's only one DRS detection point. So if you get if you get DRS for one, you get DRS for both. So we got a bit of field spread now. Deflated Wing is already out of DRS towards Nico and Alessio. We are going to get a lovely little battle for the win here with the use of maybe a bit of battery. Deflated Wii has able to caught up, but of course they are on different strategies, so this will be a race for the ages. We have got battling everywhere. This is a very nice train. Everyone at the moment is within DRS of each other. This is exactly what realistic tit is for. Padge still locking in at the back of the grid for now, but you would think as Naoka is rounded into the grass and has lost their wing, and they've got end plate damage in their debut race. It's very unfortunate for Naoka, who is making their debut tonight, and that's not the debut that they would want. Alessio setting another fast stopper, which has now been taken by Deflated Wii, and Naoka will enter the pit lane now for their first pit stop and to prepare the front wing. This is a very tough pit entry here. It goes on the inside of the final corner. We go back to the front of the grid, and Alessio and Nico are still fighting. Got a bit of a gap now between David and Max, but the gap is still 2 tenths between. Alessio getting a better exit. Everyone's still within close proximity. This is very, very nice to see. And of course this is a track which is very difficult to overtake, and DRS trains will be happening very often. We are seeing gaps form now. Is anyone going to attempt a move into turn 1? It doesn't look like it. Padge might be setting up a move on Wizard Mitten into 2. He is not close enough to make the move as of yet, which does mean that Alessio still lead the way for now, as Naoka is the only car to have pit so far. We'll be seeing the crossover point between the mediums and the hards. It may be about 4 laps time, I would imagine. I think that's when we'll start seeing the hards really take their form against the mediums, and we might be seeing Deflated Wee and John and Ethan maybe even attempt to move, or attempt a move on Nico and Alessio, who you would imagine will be coming in maybe around lap 10 to 15, maybe. That would probably be their pit window, as no one is close enough. Deflated Wee is having a look on the inside and gets caught out, and John almost going into the back there. Padge making the move on Wizard Mitten into 1. As we have a very, very respectful group of drivers. But Alessio still leading the way. As we got a spinner in the back, that is Tacit, and Tacit has broken his front wing. That is not a good start for Tacit, and He is beat. Is he beat? No, he is not. He has just got wing damage. That is not the best start for Tacit. He doesn't have rear wing damage, luckily. But back up to the front of the grid now. Deflated Wee makes the move on Alessio, on Nico, my apologies. As Tacit comes into the pit lane for his first unexpected stop of the race. But Deflated Wee, as Tacit has retired from this race, Tacit has decided not to continue on in this race. He does not think that he would be able to make the gap back up. As Deflated Wee hits the first of the hard runners to make their way past the medium runner of Nico, which means that he is now going to be looking to out-traction the Alpine of Alessio and attempt to make the move maybe into turn 1, maybe into turn 2. He will have the use of DRS for the foreseeable future until he is able to, until Alessio pits or he makes the move. As at the final corner, it looks like he gets a better run, but he is not close enough to the back of Alessio to make any sort of move, as John goes down the inside of Nico and gets the move done. Cod Camper was able to make the move on Flipperlister. So Cod Camper, who finished P2 on Tuesday and no assist, looking very, very strong out there so far. Ethan is looking very, very nice on those hard tyres as well. Maybe looking for a move on Nico at maybe some point in time before the end of the lap, or he might wait until the end. Is Ethan going off track there? Let's hope he got away with no warning. But will Deflated Wee be close enough to have a look? Let's go on board. He's struggling for traction this time, but he's using his battery and he is looking very, very likely. Alessio goes defensive and there's contact between the two. He goes deep and that allows John to make the move for Alessio. What a move by John! That move has allowed John and Deflated Wee to get past. We got contact. That's David, who's without a front wing. That is not good. I did not know what happened there. Apologies. I will fire the TV crew. As Naoka has gone straight on at the penultimate corner, as he will now come in potentially to end his race. It's very unfortunate. David is not having a good time out there. He has got no front wing, but as Naoka has retired, not the start he would want to his IIRL season, or IIRL career, sorry. As John is now going to be looking at the back, but he will be getting maybe Killian comes in for his first stop, and John is going to have a look at the move, but the retired car of Naoko might be getting in the way ever so slightly. Of course, Naoko did retire in the pit lane, so they have done all that they can. But it has caused a little gap now between Alessio and John, which is not what Ethan and Cod Camper will be wanting, as Ethan looked to have gone off at turn 4 again. As David and Killian are now onto their hard tyres. for the first run. As everyone's still following very nicely as I'm trying to do maths here, but it's not working. We're just over a seventh of the way into this race. I don't know why I decided to do sevens, but you know. But either way, it will be Deflated Wheat and John leading the way through this race. As it does now seem that those medium tyres are going off even more, as Alessio and Nico are maybe struggling even more, as Ethan and Cod Camper are fighting into turn two, with Cod Camper getting the better of the Aston Martin. Of course, points in our league do go down to 15, so everyone will be scoring a point in this race as long as they finish or get classified even. Oh, is Ethan looking very, very gingerly at the back of that Sauber car. And in the background, Max and Flipperlist are looking very, very feisty with each other. Max might be potentially looking for a move if Flipperlist doesn't come into the pit lane. And he does not, as Nico is the first of this lot of medium runners to come into the pit, which will allow the hard runners to all go through on their runs. John getting very close to the rear of Deflated Wee. As Nico will come out just behind Killian, who has set the fastest lap of this race, which means the undercut is working for Killian. But leading the way still, there's a 7-10 gap between John and Deflated Wee. Tacit, you can join me in the commentary box. Just give me 1 second. They are. Don't forget to connect. It's Killian is round! Killian is round! That undercut has not worked for Killian. Killian is round as we have a new member in the commentary box as soon as he connects his audio.
I have connected. I'm joining because I've had a mistake. I got rear wing damage.
Oh, you got rear wing damage.
Yeah, I bottomed out on a curve because I was trying to push. I was like fully pushing. I bottomed out on a curve. I re-entered it. Oh, I wheel banged the guy I was next to, which was my fault. So and then I went into the wall, got ring damage, and then I was trying to reverse and I got rear wing damage. If I hadn't got the wing damage, I probably wouldn't be the rear wing damage.
Yeah.
Mistakes.
Yeah, mistakes happen. So that guy makes a move on Flipperlist into turn 1. Yeah. We'll ignore the fact that I caught it on the TV cameras, caught it as that guy is a very wide turn 2.
You caught my incident?
Yeah, I did. I caught like the second part of it where he just reversed into the wall. I thought
mistakes are made, but
exactly.
David can recover from there. So I saw David, I think he had a mistake out turn 1 and he was in the barrier. And then Killian obviously got that wing damage there.
Killian got wing damage in turn 4, and there is a yellow flag here. I'm struggling to find who it's for, but I think it's for Wisdom, and I think just being passed by Nico, who is on a different strategy.
Yeah. I think he was just slowing down to let him by.
Exactly, and Deflated Wee still leading the way towards John as David has made his way past Killian, who is very unfortunate with that wing damage. He's got a lot of damage to that wing. As Cod Camper makes a very early pit stop here, off his hard tyres. I was saying we were going to get a range of strategies, but that's not the one I would have expected.
Yeah, the game was saying a 1 stop was 11 seconds faster.
Yeah.
It was saying a 2 stop would be like, yeah, not well, theoretically as good. But 8 people started on the. I think it was 8 people started on the hards, 7 people started on the mediums, or the other way around. It was
Yes.
a fairly equal mix on the tyres. That's when we started. I
Yes.
was ahead of a guy who was a lot, I think, faster than me. Obviously, we're seeing a lot of drivers struggle to overtake. He was having the same thing.
Yeah, exactly. We saw when the crossover happened that Deflated Wee and John was struggling to get past Alessio and Nico, who
Yeah.
Nico pit 2 laps ago, and Alessio is still yet to pit somehow. It could mean
I
that Alessio's trying the one stop.
Yeah, I project the crossover between the hards and the mediums between laps 5 and 7.
Yeah, I was saying about
When
lap
the
8.
hards got faster. Yeah, between laps 5 and 8,
Yes,
depending on how much you push the tyres.
Deflated Wee answers Cod Camper's undercut here. So he comes in, which allows John and Alessio and others through. Who Deflated and Padge is also in this lap as well. We didn't see. I think my my TV crew is going to get fired again. They did not tell me about that guy getting a 3-second time penalty, as we missed that.
Padge was saying his tyres were toast quite early on.
Yeah, Deflated Wee coming out very, very close with Cod Camper there, as they're on 2 different tyres, so you would think that this is going to be all very, very close. It's
Really
Cod
close
Camper,
racing.
but
This
all
might
very,
make
very
sense
close.
to the stewards, that if it goes like
Oh,
this,
Cod Camper's off
track.
track! That is very, very interesting. You would think that Cod Camper would...
Yeah.
I'm the steward for tonight.
I think that could be something to review.
Yes, you would think that Cod Camper would know that Deflated Wee is on a different strategy. He's on the faster tyre, and Cod Camper, they'll probably both be pitting again as the 2-stop is just naturally better. But will John come in this lap? He does not. John is not coming in. Neither is Alessio.
The paradox is the 2-stop is 11 seconds faster, but track vision is so much more important here as well. So you have to pick between the two, really.
Exactly, it's one of those things where if you have the pace, you can do it.
Most of the back drivers for the back will probably opting for a 2-stop. For the front runners, if you can make it work, 1-stop could be a better strategy, but it's very close to call.
Yes, Flipper Lister now pits for his first set of hard tyres, which means Alessio has somehow taken the medium tyres 14 laps and he's on the 15th. That is very interesting. I mean, because we saw a range of strategies on Tuesday's race as well. Because I did the 1-stop and not knowing that it wasn't as good as the 2-stop. Alessio might not know, and he's fallen off the back of John by quite a considerable amount. The gap is now 3.4 seconds. So hopefully when there's Killian setting the fastest lap, he's just racing around there for fun at the moment. He's really hoping for a safety car. I think after the damage that Tacit and others have had, which the fact we've not seen a safety car yet is really surprising. Alessio is now in for his first stop of the race. Deflated Wee setting the fastest lap of the race as well. Which allows Max is in the grass, which allows Ethan to have a look, and he's on the outside of turn 4, but Max getting the traction, Ethan staying behind for now, as Wizmitten comes into the pit lane. This is the closest battle.
Just reviewing that incident between Deflated Wee and Cod Camper, that definitely could be some form of penalty or penalisation, as there wasn't enough racing room given between the two as they were battling through there. Yeah. So that'll be definitely something which we'll have to look at time and time again for judgments made.
Yeah, exactly. Of course I'll wait till the footage is available. But what I'll be looking at is how much room was left by Deflated Wee, and was there space to be given and was Cod Camper required to be given space?
Yeah.
That's the sort of stuff I'll be looking for, is Max getting very squirmish on the final corner, so Ethan will be looking for a move as he burns his battery, and with the use of DRS as well, Max goes defensive, Ethan goes to the outside of turn 1, as a very big lock up there. It's deflated. We also gets past Nico with the use of DRS as well.
I think Max was the car I was in. I was in on the Mercedes and they were so quick. But I think it'll be a tight battle for first, as that guy's slowly catching up as well. Not for first or second, but still pretty close 3-horse race.
Yeah, exactly. Of course, deflated we and everyone P5 below has activated the undercut in some way, shape or form on the top 4. So with the gap being just over 8 seconds, I think, if I can find the gap thing I'm looking for, yeah, here it is. The gap between John and deflated we is 8.5 seconds. So John will, when he pits, will come out behind deflated we and potentially others.
I think deflated we's really demonstrating how much faster new tyres are.
Exactly, he's going to have a look at that guy as well, but that guy has also got DRS, but will he maybe look to outbrake him? So he looks to the inside and he goes very deep. Luckily there's no contact, that guy also goes deep as well. And next up for deflated we will be Max in the Mercedes, Max and Merc.
If I was that bad, I'd probably put up around now, because you're going to get caught up by all the new tyre runners. And Blade we raced into the top half in the newer tyres.
Looked very close for a warning there, maybe for deflated we. But he looks very, as that guy has now been caught out by Nico at the exit of the chicane, which now Cod Camper will be looking to exploit, as that guy has gone 17 laps. That's a very unorthodox place to overtake. That rhymes.
That was not a warning for deflated we, but he has got one track limits warning currently from lap 4.
As John is now in for his maybe first and only pit stop of the race. Of course, we'll have to see as Max comes into the pit lane as well, which allows deflated we to be put into P2. And we'll see what John's pace is when he comes out. Max is also into the pit stop. He was P3 before he pit. They're both on to the medium tyres, as you would expect, leaving Ethan as the only driver and that guy as the only drivers yet to pit. It's Cod Camper is let by Nico, I believe. And John is let past by Padge as well.
Yeah, just looking at the gap where Ethan would come out, presume the pit loss was around 23 to 24 seconds. He'd probably come out around where Max is.
Okay.
Around 10th place. Gap to lead between Max and Ethan is standing at 21.1 seconds. So he'd probably come out 10th if he boxes on lap 19.
And we'll see, otherwise deflated we will probably have his number into turn 1, as no, Ethan does come into the pits, but deflated we should still have the use of DRS to keep himself ahead of Cod, who also has DRS. As we do expect them, as I do expect them both to pit again before the end of this race. As Ethan, Nico and also that guy are also in. So that guy taking those tyres 19 laps. And this will allow David to come back through up to P9 after having wing damage earlier in this race. And it actually gets very close with that guy out of the pits, but David does stay ahead. But I do expect David to pit again,
Yeah.
so we'll see
David
how.
has made a major comeback. He had that serious bad wing damage, and he's already made it back to P9. I have to give credit to him for that. Unfortunately, we haven't seen the same for Killian. I don't know if he's boxed yet. He has
Killian
recently.
boxed a couple of laps after wing damage. He kind of fell to the back of the grid and then pit rather than pitting straight away. That does mean that with 15 laps to go, it is still all up in the air as John we're still on board with John as there's not many major battles right now, because the only battle right now is between David and that guy, who we will go back to and look into turn 1, because I believe that guy will try and make the move as John sets the fast lap of an 18.7. Close enough.
Teammate Padge is up to P5. I think he started behind me, which is crazy. He's really cooking on these cards here.
Yeah, Padge saying that this is one of his best tracks. Wizard Mitten has gone spun on the grass at the penultimate, and that guy does get past David, and Nico also gets past David as well. I think David realising that they're not in his fight currently.
Nico and that by battling a fight for position. A bit of wheel banging coming together. I think that could be a bit of the game's handling model, but
It's all very, very close battling. Space left between the two drivers is very respectful. Please do not go side by side through turn 4. Thank you very much. As that guy will be behind Nico.
That is a big no. Never go side by side through turn 4.
Yeah, I learnt the hard way as we got yellow flag. That is a Sauber. There's John. John is round.
Has been it.
John has been it.
We haven't seen a moment this big. We've got a track record.
John is round. He's got wing damage. There is no safety car, so John is going to be having to pit again.
For what it was quite minor wing damage. Only left, right end plate wing damage.
Yeah, but he comes into the pit lane to get it fixed. But like, I don't think it's just end plate damage. I think he's got wing damage as well. No, John will pit.
It is just end plate damage, I think. But he was on 2 mediums as well.
Yeah, that makes this moment even more shocking, as he now pits for another set of mediums to hopefully go to the end of this race. And he did they not repair his wing? Or am I just on something?
He didn't repair his wing.
They didn't repair his wing?
Oh, he's going to have to go rest the race with his wing now.
That is not good for the NA Championship leader and full-time NA champion. But Wizard Mitten does able to stay ahead of the Sauber driver, who must be fuming with his mechanics right now for not giving him...
Yeah, he must have set it to auto.
As Deflated Wee comes into the pit lane to make his final lap, and Cod Camper goes through on his hard tyres. We might be seeing Cod Camper maybe do... He's got probably a bit of juice left in those hard tyres to maybe go 5 more laps or so. Will he maybe stretch to the end? Who knows? As Alessio also makes his way through, and Padge is into the podium position as well. And
that is crazy.
And Deflated
saying sorry.
Carry on.
We were saying in the part before Padge won the race, it'd be a national holiday. That is happening.
Of course, this being the final race before the mid-season break, we'll have a week off this next week before coming back for Qatar in 2 weeks' time. So this will be the last chance that drivers get to race, as John is in the pit lane. He is now getting his wing repaired, so this will propel Killian into P12, and Cod Camper might not be able to pit yet because his teammate is in the pits. Will he risk it? He will not.
Safe to say, this is probably the race from hell for John.
Yeah, this has not been a great race for John after having a mistake at the end of, I don't know which turn that is. It is turn 11. At the end of turn 11. as we've got a battle for P4 currently between Max, Flipperlister, Ethan, as deflated. This is gonna go. Ethan makes a move on Flipperlister, and Deflated Wee makes a move on both. Bit of contact. David has got a 10-second time penalty. That's not what David would want. As Flipperlister makes a way back past Ethan into 2. Bit of contact between the two, but Flipperlister is behind Ethan. And Deflated Wee will now look at catching Max.
Yeah, well, Padge has got to hold up part of the bus for 11 laps somehow with people behind him. He's going to have to Lewis Hamilton at Monaco in 2019 to get the podium place. I think we should just make a national holiday if Padge gets a podium.
Yeah, it would be
one of the best moments of the season.
It would be a lovely sight to behold, but Deflated Wee is going to try and ruin that, and he's going to attempt maybe to pass Max into turn 1, if he can get the traction up front.
That would make sense. Turn 1 is the best overtake, probably, especially that long stop in the straight DRS down before.
As we're on the onboard, and Max will not try and fight and defend against the Deflated Wee who has just picked the new tyres. And Deflated Wee now has 3-second gap to Padge ahead of him, who will now be looking to make progress with 10 laps left in this race. The only real close-knit battle on track currently is for P5 and 4, with respect to Deflated Wee to escape the DRS of Max, which will make the P5 battle between Max and Ethan only. That guy is also close to the back of Nico in the Williams and Mercedes representative, respectively. That's the word. As Cod Camper is now in for his final pit stop, and will be undercut by Deflated Wee, but where will he come out in respect to Deflated Wee? As Padge is also in for his final pit stop too. So Deflated Wee will propel himself into P2. And Padge will come out in P9, and Codcamper came out in P7. I think Padge might have selected the wrong tyre, as he's now on the hards.
It allows him to push, but he really isn't wrong tyres for 10 laps he's got left.
As Wizard Mitten also comes in for a pit stop. It would be his final pit stop of the race, you would hope, without wing damage. And Killian and John are still rolling around in the back of the grid currently. Alessio leading the way. He's got 11 seconds to Deflated Wee, so he's got to make the decision whether to try and go to the end or just pit now and hope for the best. John comes out ahead of Wizard Mitten, who was just pit. Alessio now, as we got yellow flag in the final corner. That is Cod Camper. Cod Camper is round, and I believe
wing damage.
There is wing damage, but there is no safety car. So I wonder what is going on. As Nico and that guy come into the pits, and Cod Camper looks to be potentially going to end even with the wing damage. He only pit last lap, so he will not be happy with whatever happened there. We do not have the ability of replays because, well, life. And that the Nico and that guy pushing us. That guy has got wing damage actually, and Nico will come out in just behind David, which will be P9. Cod Camper looks to be trying to go to the end. He's only got end plate damage, but of course with this being one of the highest downforce tracks other than Monaco, but on the IIRL calendar it is the track with the most downforce other than Singapore, which is our season finale in October. called Camper will now be trying to push onto the back of Flipperlister, who's on 12 lap old mediums after he pits on the hards that he's currently on. I saved it. Yes. As Ethan is now looking to overtake Max, potentially into turn 1.
Yeah, it's probably going to look to be the best place to do so. Well, a good exit out the last corner. Drain the battery. One lap new tyres, it's good hell. But those tyres will be dropping off by now for both drivers.
And he was not close enough. A bit of a slide out of exit of turn 1. Goes a bit deep into 2. And
all that needs to happen in this battle to change it is one driver has a massive mistake, or a mistake.
As that guy will now look to overtake Nico, who I swear came into the pits, but he's on 10 lap old hards. Maybe his mechanics put him onto the wrong tyres, so it looks like Nico will be firing his mechanics. As Wizard Mittens, that's the fastest lap of the race, with an 18.6. Alessio does not look like he's pitting. Alessio will be going to the end of this race with only 6 laps left. Deflated Week has to catch up 8 seconds in this race.
I think in this race, Alessio needs to get moved down a car. He's really good on that Alpine.
Yeah, we need to find a way to stop his championship.
Ethan goes for a move up the inside into turn 1, slightly in wheel bank, he gets position. Matt comes through off the exit, but Ethan does have DRS.
As John gets a 3-second time penalty in this race.
I never thought I'd be seeing John in last, but everything can happen clearly.
Exactly, as Max looking to get a better exit with Ethan into 3 and now 4, but he was unable to do so. Ethan sliding a little bit into 5, and on the exit, as I say that, Max also slides around. As Wizard Mitten is on the back of Killian, who has gone 16 laps on those hard tyres. And Wizard Mitten will have a look at a move in 2-1. Has a very big slide.
Ethan's on the cusp of breaking DRS.
As Killian will have a look at Wizard Mitten, but Wizard Mitten is able to stay ahead. As Max is out of DRS of Ethan, so even with the 1 lap fresher tyres, they will both be going to the end. As Deflated Wheels caught up 1.4 seconds on Alessio in a lap. But he has got 5 laps to catch up the rest, and not to try and not get track limit warnings as well. Because that guy and David are battling at the moment, but they are within a second of each other. That guy on 3 lap fresher mediums than David's hards. As Flipperlister gets a 3-second time penalty in this race, which at the moment would only propel them behind Quad Camper, as Padge is not yet close enough for the 3-second gap window. Wizard Mitter getting a 3-second time penalty.
Yep. That is Ethan hopefully secured the podium. I don't want to curse him. Seems the major battle on track is for P5, but Codcamp already has that due to the penalty.
And the major strategy is between Deflated Wheat and Alessio, who is now 5 seconds. Oh, very slidey there at turn 4 for Deflated Wheat.
Yeah, running through the penalties. We've got Flipper with a 3-second, that guy with a 3-second, David with a 10-second, Wizard Mitten with a 3-second, and John with a 3-second penalty.
And if you're shocked, if you're joining us for the first time in Realistic Tier after watching NA on Tuesday, John has spun. And yes, even though he won the race on Tuesday. But it's Realistic Tier, and he's in the Sauber for obvious reasons.
Yeah, he seems to be probably the 5-time no-assist champion, so it would make sense. I think Liam deflated Wheat. He's going to reel P1 in, but not fast enough considering we've got 4 laps left.
He's still got plenty of time, and he will have fresher tyres. He is sliding around, but Alessio must be hurting a lot more than what we feel deflated. What I personally feel deflated we will be. But we'll see after the middle sector as Cod Camper makes his way past Flipper Lister into turn 1 and now is on the back of Max. Even with wing damage, he is still doing very, very well here to get back up into what is currently P5 and attempting to make the move on P4. Even with that wing damage, Cod Camper is still looking very strong. Maybe because of his fresh tyres, but he must have a lot of downforce on that car to help propel him.
Yeah, he might have not changed his wing, but he might have if he's not already got 50 on the front wing, or just on his wing. He might have got his wing slightly as well.
Yeah, those Sauber mechanics might be fired after today for not changing wings when they were supposed to.
John is down the DRS of Killian, but he does have a penalty, so it's not going to be on track for him.
And Deflated Wheat is 3.8 seconds out. He might not very well be close enough to make the move on Alessio when it comes to the final corner. Final lap.
Alessio is on the horizon, and I believe will remain on the horizon for Liam here.
As Alessio has shown that the one-stop can still be good if you do it well and correct. And he will take he will take the championship lead off Cod Camper if it stays this way. As the gap would be bigger than 4 points.
This has been one of the most unexpected races. We've got Killian.
Killian's going for the last lap.
13.
Killian's going for the last lap, 100%.
Cod Camper in 5th. The front runners in, well, usually are not in the front.
Max is now going to be being overtaken by Cod Camper into turn 1, and we'll watch from the rear wing cameras. Cod Camper will get closer and closer and closer. It's like Jaws. He goes to the outside, and will he get traction out of? They will, and that is a lovely move from Cod Camper there on the Mercedes of Max. As we enter halfway through this penultimate lap of the race, Deflated Wheat is 2.4 seconds out of Alessio. Alessio must be struggling even more. He needs to realistically get within DRS now to have a chance. Otherwise, it probably is not going to happen for Deflated Wheat. This is 2 seconds now.
Looks like it's going to be too little, too late for Deflated Wheat here.
Exactly, but if Alessio makes a mistake in this lap, he's got battery to burn. But if Alessio makes a mistake somewhere, this could still play into Deflated Wheat's hands. But it looks, like you said, it does look too little, too late for Deflated Wheat to make any sort of move.
Padge is now fighting for P6. Looking to get the overtake on straight, and he does get that into the last lap. Looking like it's going to be P6 in the Vanguard.
It's been a good race for the man who started at the back of the grid. He has gained 9 places in this race, but Padge does like Hungary. This gap is now 1.3 seconds between Alessio and Deflated Wee. We don't want Deflated Wee to try anything disastrous, but I think, yeah, he is not close enough to make any sort of move.
One more lap and he probably would have gone.
Yeah, one more lap and it would have been curtains, probably curtains for Alessio. But Alessio will come across the line now to take the championship lead off Cod Camper and will finish ahead of Deflated Wee, who's P2 in the Haas. Ethan, 17 seconds back, but we won't talk about that, will come across the line for P3. It'll be, I can't remember if he's got a podium yet in realistic tier, but he will get one here today if he hasn't. Cod Camper will be P4. Max, Padge, very close finish there. Max getting ahead of Padge. Flipperlister, P7. Killian was not able to get the fastest lap if I remember correctly. That guy and David will cross the line P7 and 8, or 8 and 9, apologies, with Nico crossing line P10 but gaining P9 because David had that 10-second time penalty.
Yeah, well done on the P3. So well done to Alessio.
Yeah, Wizard Mitten will cross the line for P11 and breaking his front wing across the line, because funny. Ethan, is that your first podium in the league, mate? Or have you got one in this season already? And John will cross the line for P12. It's not where we expected him to be at the start of this race. It's not been the best race for John, but he will score some points just by finishing.
Who do you think we're going to give drive today then for that?
Honestly, I would definitely put a ringer on Alessio for doing the one stop and Padge for gaining most places. Those are my two coolies for the driver of the day, as Alessio will celebrate his win and taking the championship lead off Cod Camper. Yeah, Jack, it was a good race from you. I really enjoyed watching your stuff.
And he got
the only way
up as well.
Exactly, the only way is up. As Padge has been given the in-game drive of the day, as me and Tacit will decide
Ethan,
after the race.
Got P3 apparently, he's staying on 89% tyres.
Wow. But anyway, to end out this race, we'll go through the turn order. Alessio P1, Deflated Wee P2, Ethan P3, Cod Camper P4, Max P5, Padge P6, Flipperless P7, P8 goes to that guy, Nico P9, David P10, Wismitten P11 with the fastest lap, John P12, Killian P13, and our two DNS being Naoka and the man in the commentary box beside me, Tacit.
Indeed.
Ethan, how you did that on 89% tyres, I do not know.
That's an honourable mention.
That is something to behold. As that is now the end of the Hungarian Grand Prix for realistic tier. There is one more stream this week from what will be Deflated Wee and this man beside me in the commentary box for the assist tier Hungary race on Sunday evening at 7:30 p.m. BST UK time, whatever you want to call it. If you are from other parts of the world and you need to know what time that is in your own currency, then look at a watch. I'm sure it'll be easy to find. But it will be 7:30 GM UK time. On Sunday evening, you'll be joined by Deflated Wee and Tacit, and then we go on mid-season break for a week, in which we will be back with Qatar on the first week back, so in 2 weeks' time. Yeah, as
Yes.
Flipperless is saying, it will be. Flipperless is saying he had a very difficult race. Yeah, but you were able to do well in that Williams as well. So I'd be very proud if I was you. As that is it from me and Tacit. And Tacit, would you like to say goodbye?
Goodbye from me.
And we will be back in. Oh, I will be back in 2 weeks' time. But like I said, Tacit will be back on Sunday evening for the assist tier race. And that is it from me too. Goodbye.